Hello out there in Marengo. It is 9:13 here. Am Heavy Kevy B here with my partner today, Money Matt. How you doing this fine morning?
I'm doing well, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing very well. I figured we'd talk a little sports today.
Well, that's why I'm here, so
Makes
that would
sense.
make sense.
Makes sense to me as well.
Yeah.
I think the easiest place for us to begin, I think, would probably have to be with a proud partner. Because programming for Marengo Community Radio is made possible with a donation from Marengo Main Street. Marengo Main Street is a non-profit, volunteer-based organization dedicated to preserving and promoting the downtown for the benefit of the community. If you'd like to get a hold of them, you can contact them at 815-568-8440. Now, on a more realistic note...
Let me just cut you off right there. Not as good as Scott.
Yeah, I know. He's good at it.
Yeah. But that's also like saying a 5-time All-Star isn't as great as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you're comparing yourself to the best.
I know. He is the best of the best, I believe. Best in the biz. Isn't that what they call him?
Yeah.
Showbiz Scott? Something like that?
Showbiz Scott. That's right.
All right, so this Cubs team, let's be honest here. Are they red hot or what?
Oh, absolutely. What? Isn't it 11 of the last 12?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
And they've been winning handily at that.
They swept the World Series champions not just in a 3-game set, 4 games in a row.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Pretty impressive, to say the least.
Well, yeah, the Cubs are definitely on a roll here, and it couldn't have happened at a better time. What better the time than the present? Looks like they are 63-48. It's 15 games over.
Yep.
Playing the Brewers tonight. Brewers are 48-66, not having as good of a season.
Beat them last night, 6-3.
Yes, absolutely. And we were actually talking last night. The Cubs division is looking pretty strong. Aside from the Brewers.
Yeah, with the exception of the Reds and the Brewers. It's, well, even I guess the Reds are pretty a lot further back than I thought. I was going to say they're doing pretty all right, but 49-62.
Yeah, that's not very good.
Not really cutting it. But the Cubs are the 4th best record in all of baseball, and they're 3rd in their division, which means the top 3 records in the NL are coming from the NL Central.
Yeah, it does mean that.
That's ridiculous.
Because if the Cubs were in any other division in the National League, they would be leading the division, I believe, yeah, because they have a game over the Dodgers. So
if the Cubs are in any other division except for the AL Central, they'd be in first place.
Yeah, AL Central. So, yeah, Missouri.
Kansas City Royals. Missouri is just dominating baseball right now.
Those stinking Cardinals.
Well, and those stinking Royals.
Yeah, but I kind of like them.
These O's ain't royal.
Yeah, these O's ain't royal. I kind of like them. I'm
a big
the Cardinals,
fan.
though.
I hate them because of the rivalry, but it's hard for me to not respect them.
Yeah,
they're just so good. No matter what they do, Wainwright goes down, and Waka makes that turn from really good to
even better.
Yeah. And then no matter who gets hurt, Holiday's been hurt for pretty much all season. They just bring somebody else up. They make the trade for Brandon Moss.
Next man up mentality.
They do.
It really does. It's a shame because they're tough. And I look at the roster up and down, and I can't figure it out. But it's just system. And sometimes you can get away with not having all the talent if you have the right system and the right players that step up at the right time.
And they certainly do.
To say the least.
Right.
The Cardinals, so far this year, they have the best record in all of baseball, I believe. Is that correct?
That is true.
Yeah, okay. At 72 wins. So they're 72-40. Man, good grief. They're 32 games over 500.
Out of their everyday players, their highest batting average is 289 from Jason Hayward. And they just find ways to win.
Yeah, they really do. There's just different, obviously Yadi Molina is one of the best catchers of our era.
Yeah.
So, but he's getting a little long in the tooth here, but it just doesn't matter. They just step up.
Nobody on that team has 20 home runs. Nobody's driven in more than 60. As I mentioned earlier, nobody's hitting 300. Nobody's even hitting 290, technically.
Yeah.
And they have the best record in baseball.
They just put it together. Timely hitting.
Yeah.
Good pitching, which is exactly what you need in the playoffs. So as it stands right now, the Cubs are in the wild card, the second wild card spot.
Yeah, they gained one game on the Pirates last night, who lost with the Cubs' victory last night.
Yes, that's good.
So
So they're 2.5. Is that correct? 2.5 back.
yeah, they're
of the
2.5 back of the number one spot. Let me bring up the standings real quick so I can see what their hold is on.
And it looks like they're 3.5 up over San Francisco after that
3.5.
4-game sweep that they had, which is very, very good. They're just red hot right now.
They are.
And then now they're coming up and they're playing some teams that have sub 500 records. Obviously, the Cubs and the Sox play this weekend.
Yeah. Which, no matter how hot they are, no matter how cold the White Sox are, you can pretty much throw the records out
Throw
the
the
window.
record books out when these teams play.
Man, it's weird how that works. How
Yeah.
just all the time that no matter who's hot, no matter who's cold, no matter who's having the better season, you just throw it out the window. And guys like Samardzija, even though he's been pitching well lately, having a pretty down year, and for all we know, he could throw a perfect game.
Well, hopefully that's not the case.
Right.
I will actually be at the game on Saturday.
Which means you're dead to me because I'm that jealous.
Don't worry, I'll be sitting in the box.
Oh,
You can eat and drink. So
okay, so
does that make it better?
yeah, that makes it a lot easier to swallow.
Jake Arrieta, it will be matching up against Quintana. It looks like that's a nice little matchup. I was thinking it was going to be Sale, but it didn't work out quite. Arrieta and Sale. It didn't work out like that. But, these things happen. Jeff Samardzija is pitching. He's pitching on the Friday game.
Okay.
And then looks like Sunday they're going to go ahead and versus Hendricks, by the way. And looks like Sunday they're going to finish it out with Dan Herron versus Sale.
You just said Sale. Oh, no, Samardzija.
Samardzija
Yeah.
started on Friday.
Yeah.
So it's going to go Samardzija. Okay, yeah, that's a decent little matchup.
And just like we were saying, like if you look at those pitching matchups, I could see the Sox taking 2 out of 3.
Yeah, well, that happened. Didn't that happen last time they played in Wrigley?
Yeah.
Those darn Sox.
Cubs are hot going in. Sox are cold. Sox took 2 out of 3.
So why are the Cubs so hot right now? What happened? They obviously acquired Dan Herron at the trade deadline.
They also got that Hunter kid, right?
For the bullpen.
Yeah.
Bullpen. I don't know. It just seems
just something must have clicked.
they're clicking on all
I
cylinders.
don't know.
John Lester's he's doing very well as of late.
Well, if you look at his numbers in the second half over the last 2 years, his ERA is sub 3. I want to say not last year, the year before, his ERA in the second half was like 2.12. That low.
I'm looking for something like that. That'd be great. Let's take a look. So far this season, he's got I'll tell you this much. Over the past month, he's got a 1.74 ERA and a .84 WHIP. He's got 31 innings, 33 strikeouts, and on the season, he's got a 3.22 ERA and a 1.17 WHIP.
His Ks per 9 through the whole season, not even just recently, is 9.
9, yeah.
Which
Strikeout per inning.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah. Getting that from a starter, like you're obviously not going to get like the 10, the 11 like you do from a reliever.
Yeah, exactly.
That solid 9, 1 per inning, that's impressive.
So it just seems like they've been hitting. The starting pitching's been doing very well. There's a lot of different factors.
Yeah, and they're, like you just said, they're hitting. Like they're scoring runs, which they haven't done that since May.
They're scoring runs in bunches.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good hitters on this team, and these kids are too young to know that they're out of it. So you got to get them out 27 times.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not like it used to be. Where it's like, oh, well, the Cubs are down in the 6th. Forget about it. Nail it down. You have to get this team out 27 times because they are going to try. They're going to try, and they're trending in the right direction. This makes me very pleased, man. I can't speak for you, but I know that I'm very excited for not only this season. They're ahead of schedule as far as I'm concerned. I didn't expected them to be competitive, not necessarily in the playoffs, but now I'm thinking playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
Are very realistic.
Well, maybe not necessarily playoffs, but that play-in game,
Well, yeah, I mean,
which they consider the playoffs, but
I'll
that's
call
just
it playoffs.
silly.
Is
It's
it
just silly.
I'm gonna
It
call
really is.
And the Cubs have had some pretty decent success against the Pirates of late.
They have. Going into that last series, they were 6-4 in the season, and then didn't they take 2 out of 3 from them?
They did.
So 8-5 against the team that's only 2.5 games above them.
Can you see them catching the Pirates?
Yeah, definitely, because they're hot at the right time. And then you look at that September schedule. Every team plays everyone in their division twice, and then there's two series against non-conference teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely a chance that they can catch the Pirates.
Now, at the beginning of the season, how did you have the Cubs shaking out?
I had them roughly not as hot as they are right now, but at this point in the season, I'd say maybe 5 games worse than they are right now.
Okay.
But I also thought they'd be competing with the NL Central. I expected the Cardinals to be good. I didn't expect them to be this good.
They have to come back to earth, right? Theoretically, wouldn't you think that, or does that not work like that?
I don't know, man. If you're this good for this long, like they didn't just like get hot and they've stayed hot. They're just
They haven't had a slump
really
yet.
good.
I think they should have a slump by now. They haven't.
But the thing is, guys on that team are having slumps. The team isn't.
Yeah, the
because
team's not slumping.
like you said, it's that next man up mentality where even if one guy's not playing very well, Jason Hayward for the first month and a half was hitting like 211, 212. And then, like I just said not too long ago, he's leading the team in batting average and RBI and home run.
Yeah, they're something else, I'll tell you.
Yeah. It's that, I think, not that the Cardinals just figured this out recently, but I think the Royals last year showed you what it takes to be a competitive team. You have solid pitching, timely hitting, and you got to have that great defense behind the pitcher.
Yeah. And they do have that. I understand that. Fundamentals. It's basic. Comes down to basic fundamentals. Timely hitting.
Yeah, you don't need a guy that's going to hit 40 home runs and another guy that's going to hit 30 behind him in the lineup.
Right.
You just need the hitting just needs to be timely. You need guys to throw at least 6-7 innings.
Yeah. It's always very helpful to have a guy that can hack into another team's database too. I think that really helps.
It's always good when you have scouting reports and you know what they're asking for in trades.
Exactly.
That always helps.
So the Cubs have it's this series against the White Sox, and then they have the day off on Monday, and then they have a 2-game set with the Tigers, and then they play the Braves. All of these teams are under 500.
Yeah, they could easily. Well, I shouldn't say easily because I was going to mention a sweep and that's never easy. But they could walk away from that 7-2.
Sure.
And in their last 10, they're 9-1. So then you count for the next. Excuse me, the next games going forward 7-2. They could easily catch the Pirates.
Yeah, I think so. And then they have.
It depends on who the Pirates are playing coming up.
Indians. I think the Pirates have a bit of a tougher schedule.
I know going into the All-Star break, I knew that the Cubs had the easiest schedule going forward.
Well,
I don't know what that entails for the other teams.
I know the Pirates and Giants will be playing each other not this weekend, but the weekend after. Let's see.
Yeah,
they're going to be playing. Yep, the weekend.
They're playing St. Louis now. Then they play the Mets, then Arizona, then San Fran. So they got one easy series there against Arizona. And then, after a 4-game set with San Fran, they got 4 games against Miami, and then Colorado, and then Milwaukee.
That's a soft part of the schedule, which the Cubs just went through. They just played those teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot that can happen. The season's long season. There's a lot going on.
162 games is a lot of games.
It's exciting, though.
It is, because it makes every game important when you're this good and the guys in your division are that good. It makes every game important. It makes the next month and a half, 2 months, really, really exciting.
Yeah. It's good to have baseball still be relevant in the middle of August.
Yeah. With the exception of the Sox finished second 3 years ago.
Yeah. Didn't miss the playoffs, though.
Yeah. But they were still a relevant team then.
Oh, okay.